We're so white.
From coast to coast, the host with the most. Step inside. Come on by. With the real.
Peter Despair. Welcome to Real Hours with PJ and Nate. I am Nate. I've got PJ or Peter, and I've got Greg here with me. This is season
What's up?
2, episode 4. Season 2, episode 4. That's right. 4 weeks, 4 episodes. We're going strong. We've started out pretty strong. Peter, where can you find us on social media?
At Real Hours Pod, just about everywhere except
Just
for the
about
TikTok
everywhere.
and the Snapchat. So please, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Real Hours Pod. And send us your spam emails, ladies and gentlemen. realhourspod@gmail.com. What is better than a Gmail address? There's nothing better than a Gmail address. There's nothing more trustworthy and more official than a Gmail address, if you ask me. So
We want your spam and we want your scam ideas.
scam us. Try to scam us.
Yes, we gotta get
Greg wants the
scammed.
challenge.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dawson Kent.
Let's
I
go.
found out from our boy Peter here that you are a full-time listener.
Avid.
You listen every week. Avid listener. I don't know. We gotta make fans up.
He's a real one.
He's a real one. Yeah. Shout out to Dawson. We love you. Thanks for listening. Honestly, people, you get shout outs if you tell us you listen. So
Maybe they're embarrassed if they listen, so they don't want to be shouted out.
That's probably true.
That'd be me.
But anyways, we love you all. Thank you for listening, and I think we should get right into it. Greg, what do you got for us this week?
All right. So, welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good week. If you missed it, last week we started a new segment called We're the Boys and We're Talking. Basically, we're just going to talk about our weeks.
We need a writer for title name specifically.
We're going to do a little check-in, just make sure everyone's doing okay. So, Peter, would you like to start us off? How was your week? How has it been?
There's a bit of procrastination this week, but every week has procrastination. At the end of the week, though, it's now Friday. It's been a good week. You may notice if you're watching on YouTube that the background of my videos is very different. Well, it's not very different. It's similar, but it's different. I'm in a different room. I've switched rooms, and I now have a large window over here, which you probably can't see because it's not on camera, but it's absolutely beautiful, and I have far more natural light than I used to. And it's just lovely because in the day I have natural light, and in my previous room I did not. So it's helping me with my mental health more, I think, and it's helping me, I don't know, just focus, have more energy, that kind of thing. Natural light makes such a big difference. So
Now, here's my question for you, Peter.
yes,
You both have TVs, right? And
yeah.
you both have them mounted on
Yeah.
walls, you and your brother.
yeah.
Did you just take the TV and put it on the new mount?
So
On the different mount?
So this is where Peter's genius comes in. We have the same TV mount. Well, not the same, but they're both made by, I think it's an Amazon company. It's called Mounting Dream, and they have this exact same base plate or wall plate. So all we did was I got my dad and Isaac to lift up the television. I unscrewed the pins that are connected to the wall plate. We swapped it, and it was seamless. Seamless for me because I didn't have to hold the television. Isaac has a 55-inch 4K TV that weighs about, I don't know how much because I didn't have to lift it, but enough that Dad and Isaac were complaining and yelling at me.
It shouldn't weigh too much. The newer ones, they don't weigh much.
Isaac's is heavy from what I understand. Mine's not too heavy.
Okay.
Mine's a 49, something like that. Not 4K though, so it's not as densely packed. So it's a bit lighter. But that's it for me. I've had a more natural light in my room.
The TV wall mount market is really competitive. I find the prices are really good on Amazon right now.
Yeah, probably because they're made by child laborers, but
Oof, there it is. All right, moving on. Nate, how was your week?
That reminds me, it's a great week. No, it doesn't change anything because Jeff stepped down from Amazon, but that doesn't change anything. Good
He's
week.
still going to be a executive chairman or
Yeah,
something.
it's still going to be a money grab and all that jazz. It's been a good week. I had a midterm in that immunology course I talked about, and it
yeah.
actually went pretty well today.
Come on.
I
Hey,
spent my
hang on.
entire week. What? Yeah, I spent like my entire week studying for it, so I'm behind in every other course now, but it's fine. In some sad news, I'm pretty sure my fish Jamal, which you can actually kind of see in the background here on the YouTube, pretty sure he's dying.
Oh, no.
So if there's any like fish vets out there who want to give their 2 cents to this, I'm not sure like the process of which, like, do I let him suffer in there or do I like flush him? But does a fish just like suffer in the septic tank at that point? Anyways, that's just basically like
Does
I'll
he just
walk
die
over.
in a cesspool?
I'll like walk over to the tank and he'll be sitting there like he'll just be like vertical for like
Is he just like trying to look at the light or?
20 minutes. My guess is that he has like some sort of swim bladder disease that's not allowing him to swim properly and float properly, because I also see that like he just generally doesn't seem to be able to swim very well. So, and he'll like sit at the bottom of the rocks, which he never usually like did, like, because beta fish like to sit like towards the top. So I'm very worried that he's kind of dying. I'm not sure. Maybe he's just like, I did recently clean his tank, so that might have been a stressful experience and I might have screwed something up, but I try to keep his water decent and I try to take care of him, but he's failing on me. So
A moment of silence for Nate's fish Jamal.
yeah, in a couple of weeks we'll probably find out that he's gone to fishy heaven. But
I think we should start a Kickstarter. Save Jamal.
GoFundMe.
Save
Let's
Jamal.
go.
Maybe he can get a huge tank. It's a very small tank. I don't know. I'm trying my best to keep him alive, but I also don't want him to suffer. I've only had him for like a year.
Did you
I
ever
love
see
Jamal.
the TV show? It's one of those like Discovery or History shows where it's like they're building like giant fish tanks in people's homes.
No,
You should get like a
but
whole
that
wall
sounds
of your
pretty
room
cool.
a fish tank for Jamal
That'd be pretty cool. Just for Jamal.
with
No
lights
other.
and stuff in it. Okay.
Greg, it's your turn.
Oh yes. Yeah. So we had a big old snowstorm. What was it? Wednesday. Tuesday and a Wednesday, something
Tuesday,
like
I think. Yeah.
Tuesday.
that. And I actually had to go into work, but then they sent us home early, which
Oh,
was
good.
kind of a dumb call, but whatever. But as soon as I got home, I was just like, you know what? Everything's fine. I got to spend the day with my wife and my cat, and it was a good day, and it was very restful. And
Aw.
I didn't know that I needed a day like that, but as soon as I had it, I was like, yep, that's what I needed.
Did you make use of your new windshield wipers?
I did.
Come on.
I had them going full
And your
blast.
books?
What's that?
And your books too? You read a book?
I'm almost done the book that I
Let's go.
started, so that's we're getting there.
Can't take a snow day at school anymore. In university, no snow days.
Because
Rough
they just
life.
all go online, eh?
Well, yeah,
Yep.
but the high school kids got it. I
Remember
don't know.
back in first and second year, Nate, when it was like you get one snow day a year, and when you get that, it's like the best. Campus shutting down. It's like, come on.
They used to be in high school. You know how high school teachers are. They're not gonna take that. Those profs won't take that in university. Profs are like, hey guys, not really feeling like coming to class today. Class is canceled. So like, please stop. I'm
Yeah.
like, did our high school teachers go to university? I know they did. No hate. Like, I love lots of teachers, and
Do they
I
remember
respect
it?
them. But like, did somebody give them like a very misguided, maybe it's just maybe profs are just different now, but
Yeah, I think
don't
the
know.
culture has definitely changed since they were in.
That's
That's
deep thought,
definitely
Greg.
what
That's
it
a
is.
deep thought.
So that was how our weeks were.
A weekly check-in. We're the boys and we're talking.
Please, you know what? That's not going to work. and I'm going to bring this up now because I want this to happen because I'm excited about this. We are going to have Michelle on the podcast one week when producer Greg can't make it. And she wants to be referred to as Michelle. And I respect that. I respect the fact that she would prefer to be referred.
Greg is Michelle's husband.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Greg is Michelle's husband.
There we go.
Maybe we'll just call you that for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Michelle's husband.
Okay.
Anyways, so we are moving on to WWWS. No, it's just 3 W's. Weird, wild, and wacky stories. We got it revamped from last year. Last year?
I think everybody knows this by now.
Everyone
we don't need to
knows
say
this.
it's revamped. We should
No.
All right.
Don't
we're
get,
just
don't get the
getting
spiel. We're going to go right into it.
Peter, start us off.
So
What
we're
do you got?
starting the revamped version of WWWS by actually reverting to the old version of WWWS. I'm going to read you guys a couple of stories, and we're going to see how you
To
react.
be hip, we call it retro.
Vintage.
Retro vintage.
Antique.
Wow.
Antique WWWS. I like this. Okay, so this is from the Huffington Post. The headline is: Secret Service barred from Jared and Ivanka's bathrooms, rented a toilet for $3,000 a month. Excuse me, I just had a little burp there. So, as you can see, Jared and Ivanka in their fancy Washington residence banned the Secret Service from using the bathroom in their home, and so the Secret Service rented a bathroom. I believe they went to the Pence's at some point, and which is nearby, and they also went to the Obama's old place at some point. So they rented a nearby basement for $3,000 a month just to use the toilet. So that's just public money just going to absolutely a perfect use, if you ask me.
Literally going down the toilet.
Yep. Yep. That's true.
All for their country. All for the service of their country.
Yeah, so apparently they started by using the Obama's bathroom, and this is the line in the story. Eventually, after a member of the team protecting Trump and Ivanka left an quote unpleasant mess in the Obama bathroom, they were banned from the garage.
Yikes.
So that's that. Anyway, moving on
Who do
to
you
the
call
next.
when a Secret Service agent takes a nasty?
Those
dump in
guys
your
are working
bathroom?
out. They're putting back a lot of carbs and a lot of they're large human beings.
What?
Their waste is probably
It should be.
quite something.
Ugh. All right. I don't want to. No.
So the next story, we're going to fire through these. There's only 3 of them. 4 of them. 3 of them. 3 of them. This is the second one. Title is Oklahoma lawmaker proposes a bill that calls for creation of a Bigfoot hunting season. And this is from CNN.
I'd approve it.
That's exactly as it is. This is Oklahoma State Representative Justin Humphrey, and he is asking for there to be a Bigfoot hunting season. And he says a lot of people don't believe in it, but a lot of people do. And that's about it. And he hopes to secure at least $25,000 that can be used as bounty for the first person to trap the creature.
Let's go. Let's all go to Oklahoma and try and find Bigfoot.
Okay.
Road trip.
Nate,
Okay, like what? Why does he need $25,000?
because he wants to make it a big tourist thing and he wants to draw people to Oklahoma, which, I mean, not really many people want to go to Oklahoma. So
Why does he have to create a bill to have a Bigfoot hunting season? This is a strange man.
I just wanna
Oklahoma's
say-
the new Florida man.
for the people
Oklahoma lawmaker.
for the people in their podcast apps who have trim silence on, you're not going to get to experience just the silence of Nate just contemplating everything that he just read. So
No, maybe
turn off
maybe
trim silence,
no.
go back and listen to that again.
Yeah, maybe I'll yeah.
Okay.
We'll put music in the background so that the trim silence doesn't get it.
Okay. We'll put music in. The last story that I decided I was going to show you is just a cool video that I'm going to screen share because I don't think it's a copyright infringement. It's basically Canadian forces in British Columbia are working with Parks Canada to control avalanches. And I'm going to just play this video. They're basically firing a 105 millimeter howitzer field gun along sections of the Trans-Canada Highway to prevent there from being avalanches. So it's like controlled avalanches.
Start. One.
That's it. But I don't know. Seems really cool to me.
That's awesome.
That would
That's
be just
sweet.
awesome training. And like our armed forces aren't really doing anything right now. So, I mean, there's all kinds of little missions and whatever, but might as well put them to use and doing good public service like this. So kudos to the armed forces.
It's very interesting. That's cool.
Good job, guys.
Okay. So we have
Good
now
job, guys.
reached the revamped version of WWWS. Thank you for tuning in to Retro WWWS. We're going to move on. This is my first story, and I have a question that comes with it, so I'm going to read it to you. The headline is, Lego made a white noise playlist, and it takes me back to being a kid. So on Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music and all those platforms, Lego made it's actually not a playlist, it's an album of literal Lego sounds. It's just ASMR of Lego sounds, basically. There's like the sounds of people ruffling through the instructions, people looking for a piece like in a big pile, clicking pieces together. It's very relaxing for somebody who is a Lego addict, such as myself. But the question, it's honestly, other than the headline, there's not much to the story. But the question that I thought of was, what white noise / ASMR sounds would you want a playlist / album of? Greg?
Okay, so anyone who knows anything about cameras, like even if you've just changed a lens on a camera, there's a lot of satisfying clicks and unclicks and just like things fitting together on camera gear that I think that would make a pretty good ASMR playlist. Is just screwing on a lens, taking off a lens, putting rods into a camera. Like, I feel like there's lots of content there that you could make bank off of,
So,
and I'd listen to it.
something that I always wonder about is like when people are doing ASMR, is it a realistic situation that they're recording, or are they purposely like doing things for the sake of making ASMR right in front of the microphone? So in that case, your camera sounds are probably few and far between, right? So you probably have to just go into a studio and actually record things purposefully.
Yeah,
I think that's what you should do, Greg. You should take your mic there, and you should take your camera and you should create ASMR. We can release it on Spotify under Real Hours.
I just thought of a segment. We should do an ASMR segment where one of us turns off our camera and does a sound in front of the microphone, and the two others have to guess what the sound is.
Oh no.
That sounds good to me. We'll be doing
That
that
could
next
go
week. Watch
downhill.
out for the ASMR segment of Real Hours next week on the podcast.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. I was actually just playing F1 on PS4, and so this is what I thought of. I really enjoy like the sound of Formula One cars during a race when they like, you know, the classic like going by the camera with the mic. I don't
What?
know.
Sorry.
But they sound
And what's that called, Nate? When they do vroom?
vroom vroom.
Can you just tell me? Can you just say what you wrote in the doc here?
Okay. Does Formula One cars eatering count? I don't even eating. Like going full speed.
What word is that? Oh, and there's the Doppler effect too.
Yeah, that's what I meant by that.
And that's what I meant when I asked you what is that called.
Well, I knew that's what you meant, but I didn't want to talk about the Doppler effect. I just talk about, but not even just that part. Like, it sounds, if you listen, like if you ever, do any of you watch racing at all? No, I don't think so. Neither of you do. Okay, well, Formula One is a really good watch because they're the fastest cars and they actually part of,
It's
and
not
we're
just
gonna
left
get it,
turns.
and part of the whole concept is that you have 20 racers and 10 teams, so 2 drivers per team, and those 2 drivers drive the same car for that team. And part of it is a team thing where can the team put the best car on the track, and then it's also can they also have the best driver.
Competition between teammates.
Different cars actually sound a little bit different. They all have a unique sound.
Ooh.
Because of the way they create their engines and their gearboxes and all these different parts in them. So it's cool to like, because they have like, when you're watching Formula One, they'll have different cameras, and they'll pick up the noise in the cockpit and stuff like that, because it's just an added thing, you know. When you're watching it, it's cool. And so they all have different sounds. So I think it'd be cool if they just took a mic and put it in the cockpit of these Formula One cars, and then just yeah, just like I said, like put it on, like you said, put it on an album, ASMR. I think that'd be great. I would listen.
High octane ASMR.
Guys, before we move on to Nate's question and article, I just found this thing that came to me in the mail this week that I left on my desk for the purpose of bringing up on the podcast. And I don't want to show the brand because I don't want to crap on a brand. But basically, we got this in the mail today, or not today, last Wednesday or something. Please accept our invitation for a private adult hearing evaluation. I won't give the address. Free parking, free service. Please call to book your appointment today. X phone number. Assistance may be available if you are currently in a nursing home, whatever. So it's a great service. But, Greg, what are your thoughts on the... It's a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper that got crammed in our mailbox, but because they paid Canada Post for distribution to a certain area of the community, and
graphic design, baby.
Graphic design diarrhea. That's what I call that.
Diarrhea.
Okay,
I remember when I made that in BBT in grade 9.
Yeah, default font and default text boxes. That's what I call graphic design.
No,
right
this
there.
isn't default. This is Times New Roman. They've really upped their game. I'm a big
Yeah,
Times
well,
New
that's a
Roman fan.
default font.
Oh,
That's
I guess
true.
it is, but it's not. At least it's not like Calibri. Oh, at least it's not Comic Sans.
Absolutely no one cares about fonts, so let's move on.
I care about fonts.
Well,
okay.
I know you do, and
But
I
you're
appreciate
special.
Okay.
Okay, so my article here, my weird, wild, and wacky story, is one that I recently found. And it's actually kind of crazy. There's and it's kind of sad, but there's a teen out of the UK. He's 19, and in March, the start of March 1st, he was hit by a car and he went into a coma. And he's actually been in a coma through the last like 11 months of the pandemic. So he has no clue what the pandemic is, which I thought was crazy. So he just recently woke up. This article is 2 days old. So he's woke up, and he actually, in his time, he had COVID while he was in his coma. Fun fact. And supposedly he's had it again. I'm not quite sure.
Huh.
And he has it now. Like,
Is that what
so
put
he's-
him in the coma, or was he in the coma before?
No, he got hit by a car.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that. So
You missed that.
so
He's been in
he was in the
he
hospital.
has no clue what the coma.
and got
Yeah.
COVID in the hospital.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's
probably like a
brutal.
nurse or something. Not in any fault of their own. Like,
Or a family member who
Correct.
came to visit or something potentially.
yeah. Well, and his mom was the only person who was allowed in. So basically, he skipped the first 11 months of the pandemic, which isn't really that cool because of what happened to him. Like, I'm not going to say that I would prefer that over the pandemic. I'd probably still take the pandemic because good things have happened. So, but my question is, what would you do to avoid the pandemic? And in this question, I make means to the new episodes of WandaVision, because we haven't talked about that since the first episode, but a lot of things are happening in WandaVision where we're finding out that it might not all be as real as we think, and people might be being manipulated. So I'll leave it there, but that was just a joke. I don't want to spoil WandaVision because Peter hasn't watched it yet. So what would you do to avoid the pandemic? Greg, go ahead.
So there's in the book that I'm reading, one of the characters gets imprisoned in like a massive treehouse. It's not called a treehouse. It's like a prison in a massive tree. But I think it would be cool to just find a huge tree and just build a massive treehouse and then just never leave. Just shut out
That's
everyone.
the dream, huh? As long as
Yeah.
you got good internet and electricity.
Wow, you're so spoiled rotten, Peter. At least as long as there's electricity.
No, but you
and
could live
Wi-Fi.
the same life. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
And Amazon Prime delivery. What?
And skip the dishes on speed dial. All right, Peter, what's yours?
Fun
What would
fact:
you
I've
do?
never had skip the dishes before because I don't live in the city. Anyway.
I used to get skip the dishes all the time at the uni.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
deadly. Bad decision. Okay, go ahead.
So this title reminds me of the people. It reminds me of another thing in the MCU where the people who were gone during the snap came back and they like missed like a couple of years.
Yeah,
Blip.
Anyway, the blip. That's what it's called. I would just like to leave North American society and go to Australia or New Zealand where they have done COVID right. And like they're having concerts. You can go see your friends. Sporting matches have people there. Like I think Australia, I was checking earlier, they are having single digit new cases every day. They've basically shut everything down. And the difference between them and here is that people actually abide by the rules when they shut everything down, and that they actually shut everything down fully, not just like, hey, we're going to shut things down. And then once you get through it, you can manage it. So I would just like to go to Australia or New Zealand. That's how I surpass the pandemic. So,
Yeah.
and also I just want to go there anyway because they
Sounds
seem
about
pretty
right.
legit. So,
Yep.
Greg, do you have a story?
So my article is called "What Has Two Heads, Two Wings, and Has Been Hanging Around This Nova Scotia Home? No one knows." So basically, this elderly couple in Nova Scotia, they were just chilling at their home, and then they noticed this little creature, this little dude roaming around, two-headed, two-beaked bird attached to one plump little body. So he's just been, roaming around doing his thing. Two heads, one body. Just living life, living his best life.
Is it a mutant? Is there chemicals that have been affecting it? What's the deal?
I don't know. Apparently, that Nova Scotia biologists say a two-headed bird is not out of the realm of possibilities.
Well, clearly it's not.
No, exactly. And
It's right there.
The picture they have is not the greatest. You can't really.
No, you can't really tell if there's two heads.
Yeah,
He took a picture on his tablet. Oh,
Classic.
that's the quote. He took a picture on his tablet. Very nice. Definitely a boomer.
Yeah,
Definitely.
gotta love it. So my question is, if you could add an object or a tool to your body, what would it be and where would you put it? So Nate.
A fridge.
When I saw this in the doc before we were recording, I looked at it and I was like, I didn't understand the context because it's on a different line, so I didn't see the question. And then I looked at it and I was like,
Like a fridge. So, listen.
would
I
you
could
want to
make-
just like open your chest, just be like,
No, I'm thinking like a nice, like from the side profile. A nice side profile. Like, and you just open it and there'd just be like your favorite beverage sitting in your,
A ice cold brisk.
an ice cold brisk. Like, there's nothing worse than you're like in the middle of gaming or something and you have to go, you're like, I want a brisk. Then you got to walk upstairs to the fridge when you could just have just a little fridge in your, in your body. I think that'd be pretty sick.
But what happens if you go for a run and then it shakes the
Or if your body
brisk
temperature
up.
goes way up and it like heats up the stuff that's in there.
Listen, you asked me.
We didn't ask you for all the what ifs.
I'm
Okay.
not Elon Musk. Like, you didn't.
Send the idea to Elon. He'll figure out how to give you a fridge implant.
All right, Peter, what about you?
I want implants. Not like the implants that you're all thinking. No, I want to add Greg's. Oh, you didn't change it. Okay. You in the doc, I specifically said not, just so that you all had context, not like breast implants, but like tech implants. And you changed it to I like breast implants.
I want to be microchipped by the government.
I want to have like a, I don't know, like a heads up display where I can see like Iron Man, like you have all this stuff come up, like when he's in his suit, he has all the screens come up and stuff. Like it'd be so cool, like to identify people or to like tell you, oh, what's this person's name, or like, all that.
Yeah, Peter, I'll be honest. What information would you need to have come up on a heads-up display?
But you could do all the information that would normally, like you could have your text messages coming in, you could have the speed limit you're traveling at, the speed limit in wherever
Peter,
you are.
are you that lazy?
No, but it would be
Are
amazing.
you that lazy? Honestly.
Are you that lazy that you want a fridge connected to you so you don't have to get up and go to the fridge?
I mean, I guess
Absolutely.
that's the whole point of attaching an object or a tool to
This
your
is
body.
Total
Is to
convenience.
be more lazy. Yeah.
Total convenience. So
That's
yes,
true.
I want implants. We'll
That's
leave it at
true.
that.
You heard it here first, folks. Peter Jewett wants implants. You can quote him on that.
Yes, you can. So let's move on to the very next segment of Real Hours. And this is a segment that I've called Tech Talk. And just keep in mind, this is not TikTok. We're very anti-TikTok here.
We are, honestly. No. We're anti-TikTok in the sense that we're not going to download the app.
Yes.
But we'll watch the TikToks on Instagram Reels.
Yes, some of the TikToks are funny. But the other thing is that I know that as soon as I download TikTok, not only am I concerned about the privacy concerns, whatever, but the algorithm is so good that you will just spend hours and hours scrolling. And I just can't do that. I can't do that because I already spent enough time with the friggin' clickbaity Snapchat Discover page that just gets me to look at like, this man is 5'2" and this woman is 6'9" and they're together, and it's like, or Vice News, we went to North Korea, or CBC even is super clickbaity. Like everything that's on that is friggin' clickbait. It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
So, sorry for the rant. We're gonna get back to Tech Talk now. We'd like to talk
Tech
about
Talk.
the
no
future.
TikTok.
The future of transportation in our world, renewable energy, that's right, electric cars, and as Nate will mention in a minute, another option as well. So there has been, for quite some time, Apple has been rumored to be making a car. I just want to know, Greg, what are your initial thoughts about Apple making a car?
Knowing how they do things now, I could only guess as to what it would be like trying to get that thing repaired.
That's true. That's actually
So-
very true. Because they solder the RAM right into the MacBooks. They
Yeah,
don't allow
they'll
there to be upgradability.
They'll
So
get proprietary wheels. So if you have a flat tire, you'll have to go in and get the whole wheel replaced probably.
the whole car replaced probably.
They'll
at
have
that
a
point.
whole network of like if your tire's flat, then their company they only allow that car to be towed by their company.
Yes.
Or you waive all warranty future warranties. Freaking Apple.
I'm just interested in it because they're also talking about it being an electric car. Of course, like if Apple's going to go into it, they're going to do an electric one because they're concerned about brand image, and it just kind of aligns with their sustainability, like clean brand image. But apparently, they're linked to be partnering with Hyundai. Nobody knows it for sure, but that would be something pretty interesting if Apple made a car. It just seems like such a stretch outside of what they already do. But I don't know. Maybe it happens.
I think that's an interesting point you bring up, where you say that like of course it's going to be electric because like it'll hurt their brand image if it wasn't. And that brings up a funny point. It's to think like, is from here on out, if somebody in one industry tries to get into cars, is it just gonna be straight to electric cars? Because the branding, there's enough on the side of let's take care of the planet.
Yeah.
And these companies want to make money, so they'll choose the route where most people would prefer them to go, which is.
It also just depends on the image of the brand that already exists, because like Apple, they always have white packaging. They have their brand new headquarters, which has an open courtyard that's massive with all kinds of trees in it. They're all about sustainability, or they say they are. They're not shipping a charger in the box because if they want to reduce environmental costs. All this stuff is just, they spin it in the way that makes them look good, right? So, but if you think about it, like if GMC is going to make a new truck or a new car, like their brand image is different. They're not expected to make the new car as an electric car. I don't think. I don't know. It could be wrong.
It's frustrating when you say like they try to brand themselves as sustainable, but they make sure that everyone wants to buy their iPhone at least every 2 years. But that's just,
if not more often.
And they make their devices slow down so that happens. But what can you do when consumerism?
Yes, that's right. The other thing that I did see, I don't have it linked in the doc here, but it's pretty interesting, is Amazon is making all of their delivery fleet in the United States. I don't know if you guys have heard about the electric truck / SUV manufacturer Rivian. They're pretty new, but they have a lot of funding from big automobile brands and other brands and stuff. And they're putting out the two vehicles, the R1T, which is a truck, and the R1S, which is SUV. But they've also built a custom delivery vehicle for Amazon that's going to be all across the States, and it's zero emissions. So that's cool.
That'll be good. That helps.
But Nate, well, there's also the Mustang Mach-E, which is another Ford's made electric car, and it's literally got the Mustang branding on it, which I think is super cool that they're taking like their prestigious Mustang brand and making it electric. Like they're not making the actual traditional Mustang itself electric, but they're making a Mustang that's electric. So I like that Ford is doing that and like making it a prestigious car, a cool car. Nate, tell us about what you were discovering when you were looking into your favorite car brand and what they're doing for sustainability.
Yeah, I'm a big Toyota guy. I just find them a big Toyota guy. Most of my family is, so we find them quite reliable. Just generally, like they last a long time.
Oh, reliable.
We got a Corolla from 07 that's got like 150 on it, and it's drives like a brand new car. So, it's not quite 150, but it's like 140 something. So, you drive the same thing, I think, Greg.
Yeah, I think yours is like the a higher edition, but
Greg's got crank windows.
Yeah, Greg's got the old
I
crank
got crank
windows
and no cruise control, so we're cruising.
So basically, Toyota's come out with, and I didn't realize this, I thought they were still developing it, but they might be hammering it down more as we go, but they have what's called hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles. So if anyone doesn't know what hydrogen is, it's the most abundant element on the planet, and it actually contains a lot of energy. A lot of people don't probably realize that, but it won't take long if you are in some sciences to find out that a lot of scientists spend a lot of time on hydrogen because it's got enough energy that it can create like a nuclear bomb. Honestly, like there's that much energy when two I'm not in physics anymore or in chemistry in that area. I'm a biologist, so it's out of my expertise. But basically, the cool part is that at the end of the whole process, so basically these cars that Toyota's created, they are fueled by hydrogen. And the final product that comes out of a car right now, any of our gas powered cars, CO2 comes out the exhaust, right? Out of this car, it'll be water, which, fun fact, is a greenhouse gas. So we probably could have too much too much H2O, but that would be, I doubt that would ever happen. But anyways, it's much better than what the CO2 we're putting in right now. So,
I just don't have a problem for that.
Go ahead.
What about in Canada where we have below zero temperatures and when water comes out, it turns to ice? I'm not sure what the deal is with that. If it comes out so hot that it just turns to potentially steam, because you didn't say.
I assume it's hot. It
it's
says
H2O,
here,
right?
Yeah.
So it could be steam. It could be just like liquid water. But the problem with that would be that if it gets on the roads in the winter, then it's making messy roads potentially.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That is a decent point. It does say something here just on their website. It says minus 30 degrees Celsius cold start rating. So that's just, I think that's saying that it can start at 30.
Yeah.
Minus 30. So I assume that they would have some thought.
Yeah.
And my guess is what you said. My guess is that it disperses, right?
In steam, yeah.
Yeah. And so it says hydrogen escapes safely into the atmosphere.
Okay. Well, that's something to watch then, I guess. From what I saw, they only have fueling stations right now where it's literally like hydrogen to refill your car, like at a gas station. They only have one fueling station in Quebec and I think like a handful in British Columbia. So
that's the cool thing about it, though, is it's not quite an electric car because it actually still uses a fuel source more than a battery system.
Yep.
So it's definitely cool. So the one that they have it right now is I don't really know how to say the car name. Anyone else want to take a shot at the Mi-Ray?
Oh, I lost the page.
Toyota Mi-Ray. I don't know.
That's what we'll call it.
And
Mi-Ray.
Toyota's they've been the standard in hybrids for years now, really.
Prius.
No, that's an electric car. I'm talking like you can get a RAV4 fully electric now.
Really?
And you can get a RAV4 hybrid, right? So gas, but also got a battery in it that does some work. And the new ones, the 2020, I think I've driven in a 2020. Julie's sister and brother-in-law have one. They just got a new one.
Yeah.
And they are slick. They are nice and they are good on gas. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, they have a full electrified lineup now, I believe. So and so they're more consumer markets, and that's the big thing, right? Is getting in at the consumer market
where it's easier for people more familiar with Toyota, and it's right there. Greg, what's the one electric car that you would want right now? It's okay if you say Tesla.
Probably a Tesla, just because they've had a history of constantly updating and improving on what they've started. Whereas a lot of other companies are kind of new to the game, but they're doing some cool stuff too. But I think Tesla is just so ubiquitous.
That's a good word. Wow.
Yeah. Thank you.
$10 word. What do you think, Greg, about the fact that Tesla builds all of the features into every single car? This is particularly with their autopilot, kind of not full self-driving, but semi self-driving. They build all the features into every car, and then you can buy it later through a software update if you choose to. What do you think about that?
I didn't know that. That's kind of weird. It's
odd, isn't it?
microtransactions.
So that they promise that if you buy the car if you buy all the features with the car when you buy it, that will always be the cheapest price. But you can get it later down the line if you decide you want to get it later, or if there's financial reasons. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you should put hardware behind a price wall, but not software. That's kind of like that kind of happened with a camera release this year.
What was that?
What's that?
What happened?
Well, just one of the new cameras came out that is like top of the line, and they had a software change in it that another camera that came out this past year didn't have in it, but it should have, because it's literally just a software update. So, yeah.
Yeah, it does make me angry when software updates don't come out, because then it kind of like especially for stuff that's pretty new, because then it just like turns what you have into obsolete, and it bricks what you already have, which is unfortunate because it could probably serve a longer lifetime and it becomes planned obsolescence. But I think it's different with Tesla though, because it's like if you want to buy it, you can, but you don't have to. It's not like we're blocking it from you. Like, you can still upgrade to it at a later time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
are we done talking about cars, or do you have something to say, Nate?
No, I was just gonna say, like, Tesla, they do a good job. It's just we need to get into the consumer world, because we have 4 or 5. I drive by a Tesla around here now,
Oh yeah.
but we live in a white collar city, right? So
Yeah.
like, we're engineers and profs and doctors. So
Yeah.
of course there's Teslas around where people can't afford to spend $70,000.
No.
But a lot of people want to spend.
No.
They want to put their money into
Yeah.
electric vehicles. So,
And if it's important to remember in Canada here, with the exchange rate, like a car that might cost $35,000 in the United States, like a cheap Tesla, is going to cost like $50,000 here. So it's less accessible. It's a little less accessible. So you're right. It is important to bring it to the mass market, to the GMs and to the Toyotas and the Hondas and those brands.
and the problem is that the Tesla comes standard with this, like, what? It's like a computer, right? Like, it comes with a laptop or a tablet, like,
Yeah.
in like, it's high class. Like, it's not
But
feasible.
that's just the way they do things. They've removed all the controls. I don't think that.
That
I don't
makes
know.
it more
I don't know if
expensive.
that adds so much of a cost that it's really that much.
They have. I'm just saying, like, they have complete, like, software developers. Like, that's
Yeah.
an added cost. Like, they have an
Right.
entire part of their industry that is like to developing, which
Like bonus
it's
features
cool.
and things.
It's cool. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'd love to have a Tesla. Like, I think it's a great car. But at the end of the day, if we want to we need to bring everything to the consumer market. Well, I know Tesla's consumer, but you know what I mean? That the commercial, that show up at the lot and test drive the car and drive away with it. So Toyota's definitely getting into that. And hopefully, like you said, we'll see more companies get into it here, and it'll become a fast growing industry. I think we were talking about Formula One earlier. I think they're going carbon neutral. I can't remember what year it is, but they're going. So
will it be basically Formula E becomes Formula One, or is it something different?
the
That's pretty
cars,
intriguing.
the cars are going to be
Electric, or are they just going to do carbon, like what are those called, Greg? Carbon offsets. You know what I'm talking about? You can buy carbon offsets.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It says that today, Monday, 1st April 2019, the FIA has announced that the Formula One World Championship will be switching to all electric engines by 2021.
Oh wow, that's huge. That's
So,
next year.
I
That
think
is
that's
this year.
That's this year.
Wow.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, like, when you get, and the thing about them is that they have sway with companies too, because
They are the companies that are making regular cars.
exactly, some of them are higher class,
Yes.
like Ferrari and
Yeah.
Mercedes Benz, and Well, most of them are high class, really.
BMW, all those.
One of the Red Bull had a Honda. Honda was, so that's like about as consumer as you get, right? Not anymore. They're not in it anymore. They just couldn't. They kept up. It's Red Bull is actually the ones that were with Honda. So
yeah,
but it's a step in the right direction, because then those companies
it would be cool to see
forced to start making engines that are all electric.
Because some of them probably aren't making electric engines yet.
No, exactly.
It'd be cool to see if NASCAR moves to that, because NASCAR that is the Chevy, that's Toyota, that's Ford, that's like as American and as North American and as consumer as it gets, right? Like even Honda, I would say, is a bit higher class than Ford.
I would agree.
All those brands.
Ford's the bottom of
but the bottom of the barrel. I think that's enough, probably enough car talk for the pod. But we like to just, wade into the waters a little bit of the different subjects sometimes. We don't like to limit ourselves to one thing. We're not just the sportsmen, Right, Greg?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I am not a sportsman.
I have 2 cool stories next, and this is just really quick about tech. So there's a YouTube video that I came across where this guy, he built a one of the old iPod classics. He took out all the guts except for the like click wheel, whatever that's called. You know what I'm talking about, on the classic iPod. And the he got a different screen, and he got an Arduino to go inside of it, and he gave it Wi-Fi capability and made it so it can literally access Spotify and stream Spotify on a classic iPod. It has Bluetooth. Anyway, I just thought that was really cool. And then the other one was this guy who was really mad with his Apple TV remote, so he also used an Arduino to build himself a new remote out of a Game Boy Color. And that just made me think, what old tech would you guys like to see revived? I think I know what Nate's answer is, but Greg, do you have an idea of what old tech you'd like to see revived?
I don't know. I like maybe like a PS1, PS2, like
Star Wars Battlefront, like the classic.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Classic. But I don't know what you do with that. Like the controllers are staying pretty much the same with little iterations improving and stuff, but
wow, the PS5 controller is pretty sick.
Have you seen it?
Jonah bought one because he plays Rocket League on his computer.
Hey,
it's pretty, like, I was like, it's the same thing, right? Like you look at it.
No, it's not though. It's got different haptic feedback and all that.
But when you put your hands on it, you're like, whoa, that's like, that feels nice. But
cool. Nate,
but yeah, that's pretty sick.
Can I guess what you would answer? What I thought you were going to answer?
Sure, because I have no clue what you think. Yeah, actually, that's what I thought.
You're a big GameCube man. You have love some throwback stuff. You have a system yourself. You have some old games.
Yeah. Mario Kart Double Dash is probably my favorite GameCube game. I don't have any of the other Mario stuff like Super Mario Sunshine. I want to try that stuff too, but I used to play it when I was a kid, when I was over at people's houses and stuff. We never had one here, but I am a big GameCube guy. I would love to see some, like, anything, honestly. If they just started reproducing them, that would be great, because honestly, the market is, it costs a lot to get into GameCube. If anyone wants to get into it right now and doesn't have any of the stuff, it costs a lot of money. So
you'd like to see, like, and this might already exist, but maybe like more legit GameCube emulator sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or like third-party stuff.
Or just like put the games out again. Like
re-release.
Smash Bros. Melee is like, you can't find that thing for cheaper than $100 because it's so hard to find. And people sell it, but they sell it at.
Talk about investing in the stock market. Invest in GameCube.
Oh, listen, if somebody said, how much money do you have? I would put my GameCube as an asset. I'm not even kidding.
What do you think your whole collection's worth?
I could probably sell it. It depends on if it keeps going up, but I could sell Double Dash for $70-$80.
Come on.
and that's after like somebody lowballs me. Like,
Dang.
and like the GameCube itself and the controllers, $100, maybe a little less. And then I got Double Dash is probably worth the most to me, but I got a couple other games, $10 here or there, right? Like nothing too. But yeah, honestly, I would count it as an asset, especially with what I'm worth right now. Like it actually has like value in my, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with my like record collection too. I would say the same thing. Like it has
Okay,
value.
flexing on us.
Yeah,
Big vinyl guy.
I got assets.
You do. Okay, let's move on from tech talk. Again, not TikTok, tech talk. I'd like to bring this up because I know that verbal diarrhea. I know that after this show airs, you're listening to this probably Tuesday, February
yeah.
the whatever it is. The Super Bowl has already happened, so that means that Tom Brady has already won his 7th Super Bowl. The Buccaneers are now the champions of the NFL. Hang on.
Load of crap.
Hang on. For those of you who are watching the video podcast, you can now appreciate my Tom Brady jersey.
You can't. He doesn't play for the Patriots. You can't stop. Okay.
I can support him.
No.
I can support him.
No.
I'll be wearing this all day Sunday. I'll be wearing this to church on Sunday, just so you know.
And just so you know, I might have to go buy Patrick Mahomes jersey this weekend. I'll lead worship in.
Buy a Pat Mahomes jersey. Okay. This made me think about the Super Bowl and what happens. We can't make our picks because we already made our picks. And it wouldn't be very legit of us because this is going to be airing after the Super Bowl. So, what's one thing that everybody loves about the Super Bowl every year?
Food.
Okay. Yes. What else?
Halftime show.
Yes. What else? Greg, can you give me the correct answer? Greg, please.
Literally food. I mean, I don't care about any of the rest of it. I'm just there for the food.
Football game.
Commercials. People love the Super Bowl commercials. At least I do. I like the comedy. I like the... as a person who took media studies in high school and as an arts student, I just feel like it's my duty to analyze commercials and whatever. I thought of the best idea ever for a Super Bowl commercial a couple weeks ago. And I would like to pitch it to you guys as the big execs for a company, Real Hours Incorporated. I'd like to make it a commercial for our company at the Super Bowl. It costs whatever, $1 million for an ad slot. My pitch is that we literally put up a screen, a still screen that says, "This 1-minute bathroom break is brought to you by Real Hours Incorporated." And it's got a countdown of how long is left in the 1 minute. And basically, as soon as it comes up on the screen, it says, it's just a voice, a nice soothing voice, Morgan Freeman or something. It says, this 1-minute bathroom break is brought to you by Real Hours Incorporated. And then there's just lo-fi beats or some cool music that's going. And then the countdown. And then when it gets to 10 seconds, it'll count you down so you know when to be back in front of the TV. Because at the Super Bowl, nobody wants to miss the game. Nobody wants to miss the halftime show. And nobody wants to miss the other commercials. So this is how you have the best commercial. I've decided. Give
Is
me your
1
thoughts.
minute enough time to go to the bathroom?
If you don't
Well,
wash your hands, probably, yeah.
Depends.
Well, let's not be advising people to not wash hands.
Wash your
in this day
hands,
and age.
y'all.
Here's my recommendation. You should have hand sanitizer with your food at the Super Bowl. So your food will be at your table and you'll have your couch and you'll have your TV and you'll go use the bathroom. You'll run out. You won't touch anything on the way back, and then you will use the hand sanitizer. And that's how you can save time. Also,
It's
don't have
honestly
a Super
not
Bowl.
an.
Go ahead.
I'll admit, out of all the stupid things you've like tried to pitch to me, this is not the most stupid one.
Yeah, there's been worse.
Thank you. Thank you.
I could understand the premise, but I don't think we're gonna go for it. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are they saying? Like, I feel like I'm on Dragon's Den right
I'm
now.
out.
What would? Yeah, I just feel that. What would a cliche line be?
Oh, it's I'm sorry. I just don't see a market for this. I'll probably be a customer, but I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. We had some technical difficulties. We are back. What were you gonna say, Pete?
What I was going to say is now irrelevant. Just ignore it. I'll ask you guys another time.
Okay.
And we're not taking that out because it's too funny.
No, it's hilarious.
Okay. That's enough of the Super Bowl talk. Thank you, Real Hours execs, for listening to my pitch. I'm now going to go cry in a hole. Nate, you have the floor. Oh, he's really gathering his thoughts. This takes a minute, doesn't it?
I actually
Mental
want to cry.
Oh,
That's okay. We're allowed to do that here on Real Hours.
this is a loving space. It's open.
I don't know. Sometimes when I like actually like let myself think about it, it really upsets me.
These people have kids. That's what makes me mad.
Yeah. So we've recently heard about, well, it's been like a day since it's all kind of broken apart. Bell Media has laid off about 200 employees. And of those 200 employees, there's some pretty big broadcast names that I know that I love. And honestly, the entire idea of this podcast is based off of that podcast most days. Not really, but a lot of our inspiration comes from them. But yeah, so Dan O'Toole was laid off yesterday, basically blindsided from the sounds of it, which really sucks. And what really doesn't make sense is that they literally just got 120 million in wage subsidies from the federal government, and then they cut 200 employees because they're streamlining Bell Media.
Do you know what, though? It really ticks me off because I read an article from The Athletic this morning, and by all metrics, TSN has not had a hard year.
No.
They didn't have to pay for CFL rights this year. They didn't have to pay for a lot of other sports broadcasting rights because a lot of sports were canceled. And people were just sitting at home watching their content. So they, as far as we can tell, they didn't actually have a hard year. And another thing that bothers me, I'll let you talk about the second point that we have on here, Nate, but there are all kinds of people beyond the Dan O'Toole's, the Natasha Stanishevskis, the Brent Wallaces, who are the on-air personalities that we know. We recognize their faces and their voices. There's all kinds of people behind them, writers, researchers, fact checkers, people like that, producers who have been fired and let go. And just at a moment's notice, I don't know if there's severance at this point. There's not too many details out there other than these people lost their jobs. But those are Dan O'Toole. If he wants another job, he can get a job. He can go to Sportsnet, just walk right in the door and get a job. But can all of the other writers, can all of the other producers, can all of those people do that? And there's a lot of people, not just from TSN, but from other local TV stations, some newspapers that Bell owns, I believe, as well. It's just a really sad day for the media. But Nate, I'll let you take the next point.
Yeah, so like one of the guys that was let go was the head writer of the SC with Jay and Dan.
Yeah.
Sometimes I always want to say Jay and Dan SC or something like that. But anyways, he actually started with them out in LA and he came to Toronto, but I think he's originally from Toronto. I did some research. Anyways, February 1st, so 4 days ago, Jay and Dan on their broadcast congratulated him on having a baby. And then 3 days later, he gets laid off. So I don't know how the laid off process works. I'm not going to act like I do. I'm not going to act like I understand the decisions that were made. And I don't know if Bell Media told TSN lay off 200, or sorry, not 200, because it's 200 from Bell Media, or I don't know if it was, okay, you need to lay off this much salary.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm not going to act like I can sit here and say I know. And I can't act like it does all fall on Bell Media, not necessarily just TSN, but TSN is Bell Media. So, you know, it's like they kind of work, but that just like he just had a kid.
And you're in the middle of a pandemic where there's all kinds of jobs. Like there's less jobs in the economy now, and good luck going out there and trying to find a job. You know?
Well, exactly.
And they haven't even acknowledged it, right? Like they just changed the Twitter page, they changed the Instagram page to Jay on SC. And nothing against Jay on Ray. I love Jay on Ray. He kept his job. I'm glad he still has his job. People are gonna poop on him because he gets to keep his job, but that's not him. I feel like that has nothing to do with him.
He probably didn't know. He's probably sitting at home. They were supposed to be on yesterday, and there was no show. It was just regular Sports Center. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen because we also I think producer Tim, who's like run the show,
Yep.
also got laid off. Not exactly sure. I haven't seen anything official, but
Yeah.
Dan posted on his Twitter.
We also don't actually know if producer Tim is a real person.
Yeah, he
I
is.
just want to put that out there.
No, he is. They've shown him before. He's real.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty sure.
I guess I just
Anyways,
never consumed enough of the new TV show.
It just sucks because like for me, like it was my entire childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then they left, and we went through the grief of them leaving to go to the States.
Yep. But at least they were together,
They were together, and we could watch them.
and they still had the podcast.
Yeah. And then they came back, and it was like, let's go. And they get their own TV show. Like, they get their own hour. And then you make cuts because you're streamlining Bell Media.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty streamlined.
Moment of silence for Dan O'Toole's career at TSN. Come join us at Real Hours. We can't pay you, but we'll give you high fives, and there is a potential for a raise in the future.
Listen, here's how it's going to be. If Dan O'Toole came on this podcast, we would be able to afford to pay him
That's true.
because he would bring so many people to listen to this podcast. Therefore, people, the people who want to advertise on our podcast would be knocking at our door because we have Dan O'Toole on the podcast. So he could walk on any podcast that's
And immediately bring an
worthwhile.
audience.
And immediately. And I think I hope that is, I don't know what the contract situation is like with Jay, but if they could do a podcast, I would be happy.
Greg, if we immediately have an advertiser, two parts to this question. Who is your dream advertiser? Your dream brand, whether it's funny or it's actually a brand that you like. And second, what are you doing with your first paycheck from this brand?
Oh boy. I don't know. Black Magic Design is doing a lot of cool stuff right now, so I'd have to say
Put it all back into the podcast? Is that what you're saying? Or is
Yeah,
this...
exactly.
Hey, I like this man.
There we go.
And who's the dream advertiser? Is it also Black Magic?
Yeah,
Ooh, I like that.
that would be the
Because then we'll get free stuff from them.
exactly.
Come on.
And we
Can
could
we
use
get-
it for the podcast.
Can we get Road in on that? Get the
Yeah, road.
Come on. Come on.
I think that's actually a good idea. Early on, put it right back into the podcast.
Might as well. I'm in on that.
Anyways,
Who knows? Well, listeners,
give a shout out to Dan O'Toole, Natasha, rip them all, man.
yeah. Just show them some love, and hopefully they'll find employment in the future. Producer Greg, we noticed that you've been doing a increasingly better job and been feeling increasingly more comfortable behind the microphone.
Thank you.
We love you. Why don't you take us home for this week, for this episode of Real Hours?
Alrighty.
Nate,
well,
hang on. I'm going to shut up.
Just send us off.
All right. On that note, thank you very much, Peter. And thank you, everyone, for listening this week. We hope that you tune in next time when we talk about Lord knows what. Tune in next week on 3 white young adult men talk about stuff. And we'll see you
Things
next
they
week.
aren't qualified to.
Yeah, exactly.
Love you all.
Thank you and good night
Good night.
or good morning.
Good morning, whenever you're listening. Love you.
This hour, this hour, this hour.